Hi guys, I wanted to talk about cravings and why we might experience having cravings and feeling like we're not getting full or we're not having a sense of being satisfied and filled up and having enough nutrients, right? So, number one could be a deficiency of some sort, like a deficiency in some kind of lack of magnesium or vitamin. We can have a lack in of magnesium or iron, vitamin D, B12, whatever it may be. So pay attention to that, especially with magnesium deficiency. We often can experience craving sugar and craving salty foods. So you might be experiencing constantly craving chocolate or and after that craving salty food at the same time, because it's our body's way to tell us that something is missing, but a lot of times it's actually a mineral, especially with magnesium. So the second reason might be that you're not drinking enough water. A lot of times what feels like hunger is actually mistaken for hunger, but it's actually us being thirsty. And if you drink high quality water from whatever kind of brand you might know and have a look at how much magnesium and calcium and like minerals that water has, you can also gain lots of nutrition and lots of minerals by drinking specific water. So it's not always just about or around food. The third reason might actually be vitamin D and us maybe needing to go outside more or take vitamin D in winter. A lot of times when we spend more time outside in nature and we are close to nature and we're ground ourselves and we get a lot of sun and we are close to water and we hear birds and we are touching trees and we're touching Mother Earth, it's already a way of filling up our system with different kind of nutrition, right? Obviously we're not eating, but we are taking in vitamin D through our skin, obviously. And it's also another way of filling up senses and giving us a feeling of maybe stability and purpose and groundedness and peace. So when you spend a day in nature, you obviously might experience hunger afterwards, especially after swimming and after being at the ocean and in the woods and going for hikes or whatever. But if you are getting a lot of sun, it really feels like your skin also ate something or got some more nutrition. It's really interesting, and it really works as well, because there are people out there believing that you don't need food and you just need to get light and like sunlight and wind on your skin or whatever. The fourth reason might actually be a symptom of ascension. Sometimes if we're going through the ascension journey, our bodies might feel like we don't need to eat. We need to eat less grease or less fats or less carbohydrates, because we're lighting up or like needing to lose weight to go higher. And sometimes if we are in one of those leveling up phases, our body might crave more fatty food, more carbohydrates, and more heavy foods for us to feel more grounded. And when these new phases coming of leveling up, it feels like we need to drink more water and eat less food, right? So the fifth reason might be for emotional reasons, right? Food is not only us getting and receiving energy for us to be able to be working and having enough energy on a daily basis to do whatever we want to do. Food is also comforting and nourishment, and a lot of times in childhood we learn that we are getting rewarded with food or comforted with food. So a lot of times it's still in our head that food is kind of like this comforting thing. And it's possible to find a balance there, because I wouldn't judge, like, there's no judgment, right? Um, but it's always healthy to find a balance between, like, okay, today I'm comforting myself through a good book, or going for a walk in nature, or going for a walk with a dog, or I'm getting myself nice flowers, or I'm buying these pair of shoes I always wanted to have, or just like a piece of cake or a nice coffee. There's so many ways to comfort ourselves and to find ways to give us compassion and love, and not only obviously is through food the only way to do that. A lot of times it's it's a very nice thing if we can find that balance of, wow, there are other ways to nurture myself, there are other ways to do good things for myself without only just eating. And a lot of times if we find lots of different kinds of balances where we know it's good for us, like going for a run is good for me, having a cold shower is good for me, doing my workout is good for me, but it's also good for me to have a tea, or a cup of coffee and sitting outside in the garden, or doing my yoga, or watching a nice movie, or going for a walk with a friend, or a phone call, right? There are a lot of different ways of nurturing ourselves, and the more balance or the more ways we can find, the more wholesome it will feel, because only always having the piece of cake or the chocolate or beer or whatever the food, whatever kind of food we feel like we're craving, that's not always going to be helpful. That's why it's so helpful to have a balance of these different kind of things, obviously. So yeah, the fifth reason might be a lack of maybe social activities, boredom, feeling lonely, lack of love, lack of purpose, and a lack of activity, basically. So yeah, these are the 5 reasons. I hope they were helpful for you. Remember, there is no right or wrong way of eating, because it's really truly such an intuitive thing. And the more we can find a way of listening with also integrating knowledge of, oh wow, I'm craving constantly this and that, so I might also try to drink more water, eat more fruits and veggies to have more nutrition, and to maybe talk to someone or be in nature for a few hours or minutes, or whatever you find the time for doing. So I hope that was helpful. Love you so much. Thank you, and bye.